Friends, welcome. Here we find that the paths of our summer travels, and indeed the rivers of our whole life's journeys, have swept us here to this moment, to this place. For some, it is a welcome return. For others, a strange new world. But for all, a new beginning. Receive this blessing adapted from a poem by Ted Loder. May we believe in beginnings, and in our beginning again, no matter how often we've failed before. May we believe in beginnings. May we make new beginnings. Let us begin questioning the unquestionable in order to know truth. Begin disciplining ourselves that we might create beauty. May we begin risking and loving to be a beginning for others, a singer for the songless, a befriender of the friendless, a beginning of hope, so that we might not just grow old, but grow new each day of this wild, amazing life. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Lattimer. You all may be seated. So hello, and welcome to the class of 2027. You did it, your first day of class. I'm Lauren Bowen. I'm the provost here, or the senior academic officer. I've told you this before. I have maybe the best job in the world, or at least the best job at Juniata. I get to lead a talented and dedicated faculty. You may recall I mentioned to you the other night, but not in front of them, that they are considered the most accessible faculty in the state of Pennsylvania and among the top 6 accessible faculties in the entire country. So I'm proud to lead them and work for them. Give them a round of applause. I also get to teach awesome students like you, and I get to work alongside a committed staff and administration, many of whom are here today. It is truly a privilege to be part of this magnificent enterprise. And so it's a joy to welcome you officially at the end of your first day of classes. As I said to this faculty yesterday at our opening business meeting, I have truly been impressed with your energy and your enthusiasm as a class. The questions you ask, I've already been asked why I chose Juniata, what's my favorite tradition, and is there anything I don't like about Juniata, among many others. I also appreciate your generous spirit, which is apparent today as you sit in bleachers for a formal academic ceremony. You've probably figured out we are all about flexibility at Juniata College. And while we had very much hoped to welcome you as we inaugurated our newly renovated Hallbrenner Center for the Arts, we want to make sure we get that renovation just right and that you are safe in that space. So here we gather, and we will look forward to events in Hallbrenner in the very near future. President Troja would typically be here to share his welcome and to provide some brief remarks to all of you as the incoming class as well. But he was invited with a small and select number of other Pennsylvania college presidents to be part of an economic roundtable discussion in downtown Pittsburgh this evening with the president-elect of Rotary International. It's a wonderful opportunity for him and for all of us to have him represent Juniata College with the Pittsburgh business community. He asked me to share his regrets, but I know many of you have already seen him on campus and you've talked with him in the past few days, maybe at coffee on the quad this morning, maybe before your class photo was taken on Tuesday evening, perhaps during inbounds, maybe as you moved in. And if you haven't talked to him yet, you will likely see him at Lobster Fest, or the candle lighting ceremony in a week or so, or in Baker over a meal, at an athletic contest, at an evening lecture, or maybe just on his scooter riding around campus. You get the idea. He will be out and about, he will be visible, he will be present, engaged, and available to all of you. So by now, you've likely come to appreciate that you are at a special place. and that we believe this, the start of your college career, is a special moment. You've probably also figured out that we love tradition and we see value in ceremony. For lots of reasons, I suppose. It bonds us as a community, it helps us celebrate milestones, and it allows us to honor one another. You can look forward to participating in many such traditions these next few months. Lobster Fest, Storming of the Arch, Tenting, Madrigal. So why Mountain Day? How did I forget Mountain Day? It's tomorrow, right? Yeah. So why do we have this particular event in the midst of all that you have been experiencing the past few days? Because this opening convocation formally begins our academic year, and it connotes the official start of your college experience. It's an experience that educates the whole person, to be sure, but it is fundamentally academic and about your academic pursuit culminating in the attainment of your degree. So this particular moment and event, I think, underscores the power of tradition and ritual. It affirms what's come before and the foundation on which you build, and today's convocation is perhaps more ritualistic than the other things you've experienced, and yet it matters in setting the tone for all that lies ahead. You can see your faculty gathered beside me and facing you, so that as a collective, they can affirm your membership in this community. You may not experience them gathered in this way as a group again until spring, at spring awards and then at graduation. Or at least gathered wearing their academic regalia or the costume that dates back to the Middle Ages and the rise of the modern college and university. It might seem stuffy to you. It might seem goofy. And I can assure you, as they waited in the hallway, it felt plenty stuffy to them as well. But we don these funny hats and gowns not to be pompous, but to demonstrate a seriousness of purpose, and to convey our reverence for our work and for you. Reverence is defined as to regard with deep respect coupled with love and perhaps awe. So we try not to take ourselves too seriously at Juniata. You likely have already noticed that at enrollment events, orientation, inbound. It may be the reason you decided to join us here. But don't confuse that with our obligations to you. We take our work and our responsibilities to you quite seriously because we believe in you. We believe in the transformative power of education grounded in the liberal arts, and we believe in your potential to change the world. Not all of us in this country hold a bachelor's degree. Very few of us in the world's population do. The opportunity and responsibility that comes with that breadth and depth of knowledge and experience is meaningful. And so we make this promise to you. We are committed to your attainment of the attributes of a Juniata graduate that this faculty articulated explicitly a few years ago and affirm daily in their classrooms and their offices as they teach and advise you. We promise to provide you with the skills needed to engage effectively with and adapt to a changing world, to give you depth of knowledge in an academic field, to provide you critical engagement with and respect for multiple cultural traditions and human diversity. We promise to challenge you, foster analytical and creative thinking, critical questioning, examining of evidence, so that you are intellectually curious. We will help you integrate knowledge and skills from multiple disciplinary approaches to address questions or problems that face the contemporary world. We'll ensure that you have different ways of knowing about the self, aesthetics, human cultures, and the social and natural worlds. And we'll help you think about ethics and what you understand to be right and wrong, so that you have knowledge of multiple ethical traditions, an informed vision of a just society, the capacity to act ethically with empathy, honesty, and responsibility. And finally, then, we will help you engage with yourselves and with this world. We'll provide you collaborative work in cultural settings from the local to the global, inculcate in you engaged citizenship and respectful interactions so that you understand how a holistic and intentional approach to life will foster well-being. So all of this, participating in a Juniata education and affirming all that it means, is worthy of ceremony, I think, worthy of ritual. We gather today to offer you some insight and perspective as you embark on this grand adventure, to welcome you to this fine community. We do so with joy, with affection, with confidence, with love, and with awe, indeed, with reverence. And so now it is my pleasure to introduce to you the president of your student government, who will provide some of that insight and perspective to the class of 2027. Paul Leech is the president of the student government and a senior studying politics with secondary emphases in French and philosophy. He comes from Meadville, Pennsylvania, and plans to attend law school after Juniata. Starting in his first year at Juniata, he's held multiple positions through student government, from the class of 2024 secretary to the policy committee chair, and through these positions and other campus engagement, Paul has tried to make Juniata a fun and meaningful place to live. You might see him this year giving tours, running intramural sports, or hanging out on the quad. He's just returned from a summer working in Washington, D.C., and he studied abroad in France in the summer of 2022. He embodies those attributes of Juniata students that I just described. Please help me welcome the 2023-24 President of Student Government, Paul Leech.
Thank you, Provost Bowen. Good afternoon. And how's everyone doing? Show of hands, how many of you took a tour before committing to Juniata? Does anyone remember if I was your tour guide? I'm just checking my recruitment stats. That is embarrassingly low. We're not going to tell my boss about this. That's okay. But someone must have done a good job, because you're all here now. You're all in a new home, on a new campus, meeting new people, eating new food, thinking new thoughts, wondering how many times I'm going to keep saying new. You're going to hear that a lot. You've made that first step in another chapter of your life. You can finally stop answering the question of, where are you heading for college? Hopefully you've already bought the dorm essentials and you've made your siblings carry them up the stairs. And as long as you're here, you'll no longer have to correct anyone that says Juniata College or Juanita College. No more curfews or class bells, gym clothes or pesky siblings. Congratulations, you are free and independent. I know you must be excited about all the things college has to offer. For me, beginning college was a breath of fresh air. I did what I wanted, when I wanted, and where I wanted. With my newfound freedom, I took to the quad, meeting anyone I could. My parents told me, reminiscing about their college days, that these would be some of the best 4 years of my life, and I plan to take advantage of every second. By my second week on campus, I'd experienced my first party at East, details redacted, my first athletic team meeting, and my first Dr. Nagengast lecture. For those of you who have had your first day of class with Dr. Nagengast, you will never forget it. I thought, this is college. By month 3, though, I was already in the middle of my midlife crisis at 18 years old. Overwhelmed with challenges to my previously held beliefs, I felt like this swarm of new information, culture, and lifestyle would consume me. My courses had pushed me to re-examine who I was and why I was that way. While the freedom of college was enlightening, the stress of novelty encroached on my life unexpectedly. I was all ready for change, but did that mean I had to abandon the past self? As anxious as I was, reflecting on my identity crisis, I am grateful it occurred. You see, college is a time to learn. It is a time of experimentation, exploration, and inspiration. For the next 4 years, you will live in your own life experiment. You will be in a safe climate to grow, challenge, and thrive. What brought me to such internal examination and subsequent development was the pursuit of truth. Your classes will encourage you to undergo a self-assessment. What do you believe? Why do you believe that? Do you believe something because you think it's true, or just because that's how you were taught? Don't dismiss these exercises. These 4 years of experimentation will occur in the classroom, dorm rooms, dining hall, or the woods for all I care. Before you step out into life after undergrad, you have the perfect chance to learn everything you can in every place you can imagine. An excellent book by author Robert Pirsig called Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance I know it's an odd title, captures this sentiment with an idea called the Church of Reason. This idea expresses that a university is not a building or a body of people. It's the pursuit of truth. Quoting from the book, "The real university," he said, "has no specific location. It owns no property, pays no salaries, and receives no material dues. The real university is a state of mind. It is that great heritage of rational thought that has been brought down to us through the centuries and which does not exist at any specific location. It's a state of mind which is regenerated throughout the centuries by a body of people who traditionally carry the title of professor, but even that is not part of the real university. The real university is nothing less than the continuing body of reason itself," unquote. It doesn't matter who you are, who your professors are, or what POE you study. If you're an athlete or on the mock trial team, your pursuit of the truth is what makes college a worthy experience. This could be truth in academics or truth about yourself. Explore what you think could be true in every context and keep evaluating if you're right. Experiment in your social life, your classes, your politics, religion, or lack thereof. The eventual argument that Pirsig makes is that instead of pursuing intellect blindly, one must pursue truth in the classroom and within yourself. I have spent more time struggling to read a text, questioning my life choices, and failing to understand more times than I care to admit. These experiences, while tough, have made me who I am. College has been most beneficial when I pursued what I wondered could be true and pushed myself to learn about it. Sometimes when I look back at who I was before and what I used to believe, I laugh. Not out of regret, but in comparison to what I know now. And I'm sure in another 2 years, I will laugh at myself just as I am right now. Personal growth comes best when you challenge yourself to seek what you don't understand. Meditate, study, meet new people, ask questions, explore new cultures, break the rules. This is the optimal place and time for you to pursue the truth about yourself and what you believe. So I encourage you to discover things about yourself and about the world as much as possible. With a healthy dose of support from your friends and utilizing the resources at your disposal, both in the spirit of exploration and self-care, Juniata can be a place of ultimate improvement. If you don't walk out of here on graduation day as a new person, you haven't really gone to college. Pursue the truth in every aspect you can. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul, for your welcome to this class. And now it is my pleasure to introduce the recipient of the 2023 Henry H. Class of 57 and Joan R. Gibble Award for Teaching Excellence. This award is given annually to a faculty member who contributes meaningfully to the academic program, is actively engaged in scholarship, and exemplifies effective teaching. Dr. Lee Shen, Associate Professor of Accounting, Business, and Economics, came to Juniata in 2017. Students describe her as fun, creative, innovative. Her energy and her kindness and her compassion are consistent descriptors of Professor Shen. She is deeply committed to experiential and international education. She has secured numerous internships for students. She has led study abroad trips. She has organized field trips, and she engages with the local community. She's also very visible and engaged on campus. She understands that teaching extends beyond the classroom, given her advising of student organizations and her sponsorship of cultural events. She truly involves herself in every facet of campus life and embodies what it means to be an engaged member of the Juniata community. Professor Shen.
Thank you, Provost Bowen. Congratulations and welcome aboard class of 2027. It is my utmost honor to speak to you today. I wanted to express my gratitude to Accounting, Business, and Economic Division, my elite colleagues, my students, advisees, and my nominators. I'm aware that some of you are from the local area, while others might travel from the other cities, states, or even countries. So, realizing how far you have traveled physically and inspiringly to get here, Juniata College, I bet you will wonder how far you will go from here on this very first day of the college year. Where will this journey take you, and what will you be facing? You might have heard of IQ, intelligence quotient, or EQ, emotional quotient. What about AQ, adversity quotient? The National Institute of Health defines AQ as a person's ability to manage difficulties and transform obstacles into opportunities. The adversity quotient is one factor that affects a person's success since it's correlated with a person's performance, and also a person who can have a high adversity quotient will also have a high performance. So look at those role models. Can anyone imagine the sufferings the late Stephen Hawking and the late Steve Jobs endured? Yet, they have broadened the horizon of us learning the outer space and harnessing technology, respectively. Broken barriers that no one did before, despite of their deteriorating health. Remember the late Kobe Bryant and his famous quote, "Have you ever seen Los Angeles at 4 o'clock in the morning?" He saw it because he got up early to practice, so his hours closer to his best potential. In order to become a member of BTS, yes, the K-pop BTS, they have to compete with thousands of trainees for years before they officially grouped and performed on the stage. What if Christopher Columbus just settled for the very first attempt in discovering the new continent? So I got some numbers here, and they're the milestones in my life. 6,345. 7,633, 6,805, 520.6, and 6. Of course, I'm going to talk about numbers because I teach business. First number, my alma mater, Central South University, is 7,633 miles away at Changsha, Hunan Province, China. I studied English and international trade, plus French as a foreign language, second foreign language. Since we have speaking and writing exams every month, the competition in class was fierce. If a student fails to pass 2 exams, we will receive an academic warning, and of course, suspension after the 3rd fail. So what were the difficulties and obstacles back then? How to learn a foreign language. My routine was I wake up at 6 a.m. listening to the English channels of the radio, reading the news written in English, then grabbing a quick breakfast and dash to the classroom before 8 a.m. to secure my seat in the front row. I always ask my professor questions in class or during office hours. After a long day of class, we used to take 5 classes per day each week. I didn't know how I did that. I went to the library to work on my homework, then I read textbook, all the reading materials, and took a mock quiz on my homework from 6 to 10 p.m. every single day for 4 years of my college life. It's worth to mention that listening to sounds in English and watching movies in English definitely improved my listening and comprehension a lot. Besides, I attended English Corner every week to practice my English with international students. I remember that we had around 60 students in freshman year, and only a dozen of us graduated successfully. I then unlocked my next level in the game of my life. Second number, 6,805. I got my very first internship in international data company in Beijing, the capital of China, which which is 6,805 miles away from here. It is the affiliated company of the International Data Group based in Boston, Massachusetts. All the interns needed to make 100 cold calls every day. My fellow interns graduated from #1 universities in China, and my school ranked only top 20 best university at that time. Some of them doubted about my capability to complete the task as a non-local female intern. They told me that I didn't belong there and was not qualified to compete with them because the best intern would be offered a full-time job. Instead of arguing with them or quitting the internship, I fought on after so many rejections from the clients over the phone. I took training classes of Salesforce, drafted scripts to practice calling clients, rehearsed my script with my friends and supervisors for feedback to improve my performance. From the rookie who didn't know what to say and dialed the number with a shivering hand to become the best intern of that summer. By the way, if you don't know what a cold call is, please take my marketing management course so you'll find out. Sorry, commercial time. The third number, 520.6. I received my master's degree in marketing and a PhD degree in international business and marketing from Southern New Hampshire University, which is located 520.6 miles away from Juniata College. I was the only non-English speaking student in marketing major that year. I literally lived in the library and used almost all the professors' office hours. I worked 3 campus jobs to hone my English, social skills, and my academic excellence. I even attended a Bible study to improve my language each Sunday. The outcome was that I received 2 international scholarships from the graduate program and taught many undergraduate courses while I was a PhD student and taught 1 semester at Quinnipiac University as a visiting professor after I passed the comprehensive exam in PhD program. Believe it or not, I almost quit my PhD program the first week into the semester because it seems extremely difficult and challenging, plus homesick. Under the huge pressure, I called my parents after receiving my first and the only B, and I cried. My parents told me that they would understand and support whatever decision I make since I made this far, which made them very proud already, because they believed in me and I could make the right choice and was able to fight back the adversity and hardship, yet I wiped my tears and went back to the class, determined that I would nail it, and I did. My classmates, academic advisor, and professors provided tremendous support and encouragement throughout those years. The president of my alma mater even wrote a letter of recommendation for me after I received my PhD degree. He said that this is above for me to go extra mile, which actually was the motto of the school. Buff its ability that increases a character's hit points, HP, or attack point, AP, in video game, just in case you don't know the jargon. By the way, my dad received his master's degree in his 50s, so you know adversity quotient can be influenced and inherited. Last number, 6. I remember 6 years ago when I arrived at Juniata College, I was very ambitious. I was told that I need to revive the marketing program, which I did, I think. I remember why I was busy taking picture of the partner institute at Aix-en-Provence in France. In 2018, I accidentally stepped on a pile of dog poop. The local told me that means good luck. Well, coincidentally, when I visited France this summer for a study abroad trip of fashion marketing, I again was too concentrated to enjoy the view. I stepped on another pile of dog poop, What a deja vu. I guess it does mean a good luck after all. For a study abroad program of making, crossing a 5-year span from 2018 to 2023. After endless design, drafting, modifying the program, negotiations were made, plans were set, and then COVID hit the world. Little did I know, the realization of this program was painstaking, yet rewarding. After promoting this program for 4 years at the Study Abroad Fair during the International Education Week, we had to cancel it 3 times in 2020, 2021, and 2022 for obvious reason. Yet, we eventually made it this summer with your dean of students, Dr. Matthew Damshaker. We took a group of students to France and Spain for the fashion marketing trip. The students added milestones to their game of life. And voila, I'm right here at this podium, speaking to you because I received the Teaching Excellence Award. This is an honor I earned after I achieved so many milestones. So how to walk out of adversity? Just walk a few more steps and unlock your potential and the next life of the game. So far, this has been a long journey I've accomplished and a game I slayed to make my roadmap through the hard mode of life. My pointers for you is that you need to equip yourself with adversity quotients for more challenging levels ahead of you, like college. Just to remember, hate doesn't have the place, and fight back the gaze. Love can glaze while life can be a maze. Be wise and put a smile on your face. Tighten your shoelace and get ready for your life race. Show us you can ace and let us recognize and amaze. Because every turn I take, every try I track, every pass I make, every road leads back to the place I go, where I cannot go, so I long to be. See the light with the 5 meets the sky, it calls me. No one knows how far it goes. If the wind, the sail on the sea stays behind me, one day I know how far you go. One day you know how far you go. Class of 2027, the new era tour of yours begins today. Go ahead, shake it off, and fulfill your wildest dream, and don't leave a blanket space in your life. Congratulations again, and I wish you the best of luck in exploring. In exploring the uncharted water and drawing your own map of life. Pack up your AQ, ready, set, and go Eagles. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Shen. So our next speaker shares something in common with all of you. He is also new to Juniata, having arrived as our Dean of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion on the 1st of June of this year. He comes to us most recently from Penn State University, where he was also actively engaged in educational equity work, as he has been for the past 16 years. Originally from the great state of Michigan and the city of Grand Rapids, he earned a Bachelor of Science in Biology from Grand Valley State University before earning his Master's of Science from the College of Agricultural Sciences at Penn State. In addition to his keen interest in equity and education, he's also an avid outdoors person with a special affinity for birds. In the short time he has been here, he has demonstrated curiosity, patience, a well-honed ability to listen, and a nice, dry sense of humor. He too captures and displays what it means to be a Juniatian. Please join me in welcoming our new Dean of EDI, Derek James.
I just got to start by saying the faces of you not wanting to sing was hilarious to me. I know you all knew that song by heart. Good afternoon. My name is Derek James. I'm the Dean of Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion here, as Dr. Bowen said, and it's great to be able to speak with you today. So how many of you are excited to be here? Nervous? A little nervous? How many of you can't tell the difference? Right? Can't tell the difference. What's good? Those feelings are all a part of the process of getting ready for an awesome year. Every now and then, the nervousness that you get prior to an engagement or an activity just let you know you're serious about what's going to happen. Like you, I'm new to Juniata. I had many of the same feelings a few months ago when I started. I'm still learning the Juniata ways and traditions, trying to remember where all the boardrooms and halls are, acronyms like BAC and VLB. I'm also looking forward to something called Lobster Fest, like many of you are, but selfishly, I want some lobster and steak. So as you get ready for the 23 and 24 year, here's what I would like you to know as you start this transition. It's that you belong here. Humans seek belonging. We need it to thrive. Notice that I did not say you are welcome. To be welcomed requires that I give you access. You belong here because you chose us, and we are grateful. Grateful that Juniata, a place created for you, is where you want to spend your next 4 years. Belonging is not fitting in. Fitting in means you have to change who you are to be accepted here. We want your whole person. The part of you that can be a little weird, we want some of that. No, we want you to know you belong. And Brene Brown says true belonging does not require you to change who you are. It requires you to be who you are. I've heard many times over the last few months that Juniata is a place where you can be who you are, where you can bring your best self every day. You are accepted for who you are so you can work to achieve the goals you have set for yourself. Our hope is to challenge and support you in pursuit of those goals. Understand that you are now part of the Juniata community, a community who will strive to respect and honor all of its members. So as a reminder, this place is yours. Have fun, work hard, and when you make mistakes, learn from them. And as the tagline for Juniata says, think about who you are. Think about the person you want to be and the impression you would want to make on this world. And since you belong here, know that we are here to guide you, remove barriers to your success, and do our best to help see you succeed. There's a famous and successful motivational speaker I've been listening to for a long time. His name is Dr. Eric Thomas. You might have seen him. Usually wears a ball cap. Really excited. He says that to be his best self on stage, the one thing he needed to change was not his voice. The voice you have is the voice you are stuck with for the rest of your life. His appearance or his surroundings. All he changed was that he had to believe he belonged on stage. He belonged in boardrooms of Fortune 500 companies. No matter where you're from, the POE you have chosen, the different abilities you have, or the background you represent, you belong here. Have a wonderful year. Thanks.
Thank you, Dean James. Please join me in thanking all of our speakers today for sharing their wisdom, their insight, and their kindness with you. You may not remember each and every word that they shared, but I trust you'll carry the sentiments and the feeling that they conveyed. As all of them have made clear in various ways, you do belong here. And if you ever doubt that, you can lean on one of my favorite thinkers, Winnie the Pooh. You're braver than you believe, you're stronger than you seem, and you're smarter than you think. Give yourselves a round of applause. So on behalf of the faculty and all of us at Juniata, we're glad you're here. Before we conclude this opening convocation, I would like to express my gratitude to the many people who assisted in preparing for this event, especially Tracy Clapper-Dodson in the Provost office and Dr. Jack Barlow for serving as the faculty marshal. Among other things, when I learned we couldn't be in Hallbritter, I said, hey, I've got an idea. Let's have it outside. What could go wrong? They persuaded me otherwise. You owe them a debt of gratitude as well. Our facilities team and our information technology services folks hustled to make this event happen in this gym on very short notice. I want to give special thanks to Jeff Andreas and Zach Fultz. I'm grateful to this community for their generous spirit and their willingness to help out however and whenever asked. So I also want to recognize Danny Erdley and Aaron Pascal for their considerable efforts in organizing your inbound experience. And to Kristen Kaminga for ensuring that you could meet your academic advisor over lunch yesterday. I especially want to recognize this faculty. Their commitment and their spirit defines this place in so many ways. After the benediction, the platform party and the faculty will recess. I'd ask you that you stay in your seats until the faculty marshal gives you the signal that the ceremony has ended. It is now my pleasure to call on Christopher Brumbaugh-Capert of the class of 2024, who will lead us in singing the alma mater. I also want to recognize and thank Dr. John Bukowski, our college organist. After the alma mater, I would ask that you remain standing for the benediction and the recessional. Chris.
Hello, everybody. Yeah, I see you already got that part down. Perfect. So normally you all would have heard this last night, but that didn't happen. So we're going to go through this twice, once with me, and then I'll gesture to you all, and we'll sing together. It would be lovely if you all sang with me, because I don't want to sing twice by myself. But we'll see what happens. Okay. To Juniata College, dear, in praise we raise our song, the place of loyal hearts and cheer, which we have loved so long. We love the pathways to and fro, the classrooms and the halls. We'll never forget though far we go, our days within her walls. To Juniata College, dear, in praise we raise our song, the place of loyal hearts and cheer, which we have loved so long. We love the pathways to and fro, the classrooms and the halls. We'll never forget though far we go, our days within her walls. Thank you.
May we enter these new beginnings with hearts and minds wide open. Open to those around us, to our growth, open to discovery, both unexpected and carefully orchestrated within the curriculum. May even the difficult, complicated, and uncomfortable moments multiply our patience and compassion, driving each of us toward becoming our best selves. May you be surprised in the year to come. as you discover in yourself and in others strength, wisdom, and grace you never thought possible. Amen.